What's up guys? So in this video I'm going to break down the recent Q&A that Capital Games did with the community on their forum. I'm going to skim it through so you don't have to read the entire thing because a huge amount of it, as per usual, was just kind of filler that really wasn't all that interesting. I'll keep to the main points and discuss the new content and characters they announced. Okay, so the first one that actually stood out to me was, what is the one thing you would improve within the game this year and why? And Viking immediately came out with what we want to hear. That's improving the amount of time it takes to build content, is in lessen the time it takes to build that content, and the amount that they actually release to the public, because that is a huge thing that everybody is going on about. Let's face it, in 2019, we pretty much just had nothing but old content to play until territory battles came around. And that came right at the end and was pretty brutal, particularly the light side one. So it was a pretty poor year. I don't think we even had that many characters either. I mean, they still released some pretty decent stuff, but at the same time, there was no real hype or momentum about any of those releases. The ones that we did get just kind of came out of the blue. And then we had the absolute nightmare releases of Malik that came with no previous precedent of release schedule or anything. It just came out, caught everybody by surprise, and anybody that hadn't decided to just go all in on Old Republic was totally screwed. So I really do hope we see more content in 2020, that's for sure. It's also worth noting that CG Miller pointed out that they would like to see their releases be cleaner with no game-breaking bugs immediately, and yeah, I think everybody is going to second that one because we've had so many bugs. Back when the Game Changer program had the beta build, the build that wasn't public, when we had that and we would often test these characters, things would get spotted and we didn't really see characters getting released with bugs at all. But post Padme, when we no longer had any connection with any of the characters coming out, I think pretty much everything that's been released has been broken since. So I really hope I don't know what they're going to have to do. Clearly the testing team they have, if they have one right now, isn't doing the job, so they're going to need to hire some more people and stop breaking everything right away. That would be awesome. Next up, we've got the mod cap. A lot of people bring this up when I'm live streaming. I've mentioned it myself. It's pretty bloody annoying. And they said they got no plans, actually nothing scheduled in the pipeline to sort this problem, which is a bit of a shame. They're saying that it frustrates them too and they would like to sort it, but they don't have a solution. I mean, for starters, someone pointed this out before and they said it wasn't possible for whatever reason, but being able to sell mods that we're going to sell anyway from the inbox would be such a relief. It's so annoying having to sell mods just to take the mods out my inbox only to go and sell them. It just like, I have to go through 3 or 4 extra screens to do what I want to do. I don't get why that's impossible. I really hope they will add that at some point. Up next is the first big piece of news about Relic Abilities. They mentioned this before, they announced it, and everybody was kind of like, oh, okay, so they're going to make some more OP abilities that only the Krakens are going to have, and they got quite concerned about it. I wasn't as concerned about it. I was more curious if they were going to use it to ramp up those old dated characters that don't really have any relevance in any competitive mode anymore. But it looks like they're on the back burner according to Top Hat. They're not actually going to be planned for a while. It looks like what were they saying here? They want to do more tactical planning for next year or so. But yeah, for now, kind of nothing. So that initial hype is pitted out, but it's probably for the best because Relics has really drastically changed the game, and I don't think we really need a whole bunch of like massive OP abilities on those new super powered characters. You know, imagine giving one of these to Jedi Revan or Treya, just making them even more powerful than they are. A lot of people that are way behind in the game are just going to give up. So yeah, it's probably best they get kind of filtered out at a later date once more people have caught up on Relics. In this one, people are talking about crystals. I've seen this before where people are like, we don't want all the crystals in the arenas. Can you put them in Grand Arena, for example, and other stuff? And yeah, it says that they're not really there for that, but they're hoping to do something in a few months. Time will tell. I hope they don't actually do this. Like, there are pros and cons to doing this. One of the pros is those shard mafias that are really unpleasant are no longer going to be able to completely control the flow of crystals. The downside is in most like Grand Arena, it's much more difficult to detect cheating than it is in a standard arena where it's a one-on-one battle, and it'd be very noticeable if somebody completely smokes you with Jawa or a terrible team, and you've got multiple people that can keep an eye on this at the same time within a shard chat. In Grand Arena, that's not so easy to do, and as it's been proven, Capital Games don't seem to have their finger on the pulse whatsoever when it comes to stopping cheating. There's been multiple cases of this and nothing seems to be done. I mean, I've been cheated against at least once myself. That guy still plays, and if you've only got to check Reddit to read of all the other cases that are going on and people that are let off. In fact, one of my guilds got cheated against recently in Territory Wars, and the other guild, there's screenshots of them talking about the fact that they cheated and that they're still not banned yet and they haven't been caught, and checking their accounts and stuff, and they're still playing. So I would be really uncomfortable if they moved all the crystals to Grand Arena, even though I'm a regular Kyber winner myself. So I mean, I win a huge majority of my battles. I've got a really good win-loss record, 3 Kyber back-to-back now, and yeah, I would be a little bit concerned about them switching it there, just due to the amount of cheating that's already out of control. If you make that a prime source for crystal income, I think the cheating will just increase. A great question I saw when I was flicking through this was that somebody asking about the Relic Scavenger screen. In there, you can go in there and you can see that there's gear that you need, only you then have to find the character that has it, go back to your character screen, create that piece of gear, go back to the scavenger screen, and then scavenge that piece. And someone is asking, you know, is there any way we could just create that piece of gear in the Relic screen? Unfortunately, Sven has actually said they would like to create an item inventory where we can actually craft stuff from there. This is something I brought up way back. So many people have suggested this. I think this would be an excellent idea. When you're like farming gear and you're hoarding it for a new character that's releasing, sometimes you're not exactly sure how much of a specific piece you already have saved, particularly if you don't have a character that currently needs it where you can go and click and have a look. And even if you do, it's a pain to go through multiple characters to check you actually have all this stuff already. So yeah, an item inventory screen would be a fantastic idea to be able to see exactly what we have, craft pieces, and keep it all stored ready for new character releases or use in the scavenger screen. I would absolutely love that idea. Some new content with this one, guys. The question was asking whether they were going to upgrade or add some new tiers to daily challenges, which is probably really in need, to be honest. There's a lot of pieces in those challenges that an endgame player like myself has absolutely no use for. I imagine the Kraken type players have even less use for this stuff. But fortunately, the answer was actually a little bit surprising and something I was really excited to see. It looks like they're going to be starting with new tiers for the assault battle challenges and stuff that we get in events. This is something I'd be quite happy with, because the current ones, all I really do is just sim the ones that I can sim and press auto on all the others, which are ridiculously easy, and it feels like an area that really should be being used for content. Give me something to do. So hopefully we get multiple new tiers of these things, some actual challenging ones for the current power curve of the game. Because at the minute, the characters that we have, I mean, you can more or less solo these things with like 1 or 2 characters and just hit auto and you're done. It's particularly with relics out now. So yeah, I'm really happy to hear that assault battles are getting new tiers. And it also says that, you know, that they're looking at daily challenges too, so that'd be awesome. The next question asks if we're going to get General Poe Dameron, a character that I already suspected would be coming to the game. I was asked this in a live stream and that was my initial prediction. He had a much bigger role in episode 9. His character seemed to go through quite a few changes, so it kind of warrants a new character, unlike a lot of those Han characters that are the same character in a different coat. I really do think that an extra Poe Dameron would be very useful for the Resistance faction, especially if he comes with a new ship that's actually good. Considering how good of a pilot he is without force abilities, he should be a really good ship to use. And Top Hat has confirmed there is a new Poe coming to the game. I have more to say soon. I'm excited for this. I hope he's a great character because I really do like Poe. The only thing that I do have to say is I hope we will get some more characters for Resistance that are actually unique. Having 3 Rays, 2 Finn, 2 Poe, it's just kind of a little tedious. There's plenty of other characters that can be picked from. Please pick one of them. Bring us Veteran Lando at least, or something along those lines. Give Veteran Chewie the tag of resistance, considering he's been sticking with them forever now. Please, something like that would be cool. Now, this is a question that I really hope happens. They were asking if we were going to get an update to Galactic War, particularly like a hard mode or something that unlocks once you're at level 85 or have a specific GP on your account. And they've actually said, this ties into a question I answered about a new game mode. We think that Galactic War hard mode would be good, but we think we can do it better. Doing better starts with some fundamental system changes to the way we target unit difficulty and power scaling, but we're excited about the potential of what we are planning. I would love this. Anybody that was there with me when I started this journey as a content creator on Twitch, the daily stream was usually built around whether I could get through Galactic War or not, back when it was actually quite difficult. Then they made it really, really easy, and then they just made it simmable, and it kind of killed the daily streams. I would love to have something that I can grind through for a good 30 or so minutes live on stream with people, provide a little bit of entertainment. That would be, I think, really good for the health of the game. It's bug time with the Malevolence. If you hadn't heard, you couldn't select this in the recent Geonosis territory battles. Fortunately, it is confirmed to be a bug and not intended. I suspected this anyway. There's a couple of little missions, in fact, or events, I can't remember which it was, but you can't actually use Negotiator in those, and now you can. They ended up fixing it. No one seemed to notice that. I did. And yeah, so I'm quite happy that Malevolence will be fixed coming up in the next wave of territory battles for anybody that actually has it. I don't. So yeah, I'm a little sad I don't have it, but you know, I had to finish Negotiate first. Galactic Legends talk, and in this one they were asked how the characters will compare to the current power curve characters in the game, and Viking says they will feature a whole new mechanic as well as a couple of other unique twists, which is quite scary because I really don't want them to be that OP, although I do hope they're fun to play with and something new. They will be powerful and iconic. We have plans to start revealing details in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. So, new mechanic, that what that I mean, I'm hoping that doesn't mean that it's broken in a new special way, but I mean, these are characters that are coming to game. Many people expect these to be the new meta, so I think they will be. You don't want to under-deliver and have all this hype, have a really difficult unlock process, and the character sucks. Let's face it, General Skywalker has been a bit of a disappointment. Yes, he is very, very tough to beat if you don't know what you're doing or you don't have an equally powered team. However, if you do know what you're doing and you have a good Padme team, a really good Grievous team, I think there's a Darth Maul team now and a couple of others that absolutely eat it alive. So it's, you know, it's nowhere near the degree of meta changing as Malak was, for example, although they're probably just looking to avoid another problem like they've had with getting past the Revan, Jedi Revan and Darth Revan power curves, and making the game viable for other teams again. I think that kind of really started with Traya. That was a very, very difficult team to counter until they brought in an OP Jedi Revan team, and it's kind of snowballed since then. So that's probably why Skywalker wasn't that impressive. But will this new mechanic cause that same snowball problem to just further escalate here? Let's hope not, but I'm very intrigued. I really like to see First Order become arena viable for the first time, because they really haven't been. Yes, they can beat some teams if you're really OP, but for the majority of First Order players, you know, you're going to get smashed on defense, and on offense they're just really not that great in general. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully that'll help you all out and prevent you having to sit and read the entire thing, because there was a lot of fluff in there about various little pieces of artwork like Qui-Gon's saber and stuff that I just don't think are all that interesting. These were the questions that I felt were more relevant to the community as a whole. They were the main topics, the ones addressing new content, new characters, serious bugs, and so on. So I think these were the main ones to touch on, and that'll be that for this Q&A, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, we out of here.